Well, hello there, and welcome to another J&J Tabletop video. My name is Jake, and with me, as always, is Josh. Great Weapon Master has some changes in the 2024 rules update, and let's talk about them. Now, as a general feat, it gets a +1 to strength. When you hit a creature with a heavy weapon, you can add your proficiency bonus to the damage. And immediately after you score a critical hit with a melee weapon, or if you reduce a creature to 0 hit points with one, you can make one attack with the same weapon as a bonus action. Josh, that's pretty different.
Yeah, I mean, now you get a +1 to strength. No, but obviously the big difference here is there's no more -5 for the +10 damage. There used to be that fun risk reward. Now instead, you're just going to deal your proficiency bonus as extra damage every time. I've heard a lot of opinions on that. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I think a lot of people look at it as a nerf, and I think you could say it's a nerf to your choices at the table, which honestly, I think if we're just going to take a step back from this video, I think a lot of the rules updates, that's a bit of a theme. But I tend to feel that this damage actually scales in a very appropriate way, especially if you have characters you're rolling for ability scores. Maybe you got lucky, you rolled an 18 and then you're putting a +2 into your strength. So now that -5 really isn't quite as devastating, and you're just dealing 10 extra damage. You're just wrecking house everywhere, and you're only like a level 4 character. So when you count that into it, the fact that you're not losing any of your accuracy because of -5, I mean, really, that's a -25% chance to hit. So you're hitting more often. And by the time you start to get to proficiency bonuses of level 4, level 5, level 6, I mean, the damage is kind of there, and you're not missing as often, especially against targets that have ACs, 19, 20, 21. This is kind of what you're going to be encountering at those levels anyways. I don't know. I think this feels very appropriate. I think that's the word I like to use for this.
I think that's a really fair, I think it's a fair way to explain it. I kind of like the risk reward. I think there's something fun there, just being like, do I use it? Do I not use it? Is it worth it? I might be able to drop it this turn if I use Great Weapon Master, but what if I don't hit? But I kind of agree. I feel like over time it's more of it's more like a buff over time, or at the very least the same, because you're hitting about 25% more often. One thing I think is cool on this new version is that Great Weapon Master can be used with any heavy weapon, or any weapon that has the heavy property, which includes ranged options like a longbow, or I guess a heavy crossbow too. But like, let's be real, who's using heavy crossbows? why are you doing that? So I think that's kind of fun. It also maybe ties into something they took away from sharpshooter, but perhaps we'll talk about that on another time. My personal opinion here, I do like what they did, but when it comes to that ASI, since every time you use a general feat, you're getting an ability score +1. I don't like that you only get +1 to strength. I think it should at least be strength or con, something like that. Because as you start to stack those feats and those ability score increases, you might get to a point where your strength is already 20, unless you take this early on. And then that either forces you to choose Great Weapon Master earlier than you wanted it, or maybe it's just a wasted ASI, or I don't know. I just think overall there should just be more choices. What's the reason for not having more choices?
It is a massive change to power levels with ability scores and stuff with these, like, call them half feats or whatever you want to call them. I definitely would like to see what that's going to be like. I think a lot of tables, we tend to roll for our ability scores, and I think that's a different topic, but I feel like we're probably going to start drifting towards standard array just to make it a more balanced experience at the table. But what do you think about Great Weapon Master? Do you like the changes here? Do you feel like this is better? Are they removing these choices? Is that like a theme you're seeing as well? Let us know in the comments section, and say hello with 3 emojis that you think would make our day. How about that? So thank you so much for watching, and take care, everybody.